In case you've lost track, we are currently at over 800 people disappeared by the Trump administration. And it's easy to compare ICE to Hitler's Gestapo, but I think in some ways that absolves America's own responsibility for the technique of disappearing activists being a thing in the first place. Because that could have ended with the fascists, but since World War II, enforced disappearances has been a key technique of right-wing regimes all around the world, and the country supporting nearly all of those regimes has been the US itself. So I think it's time for a little history lesson. In Asia, disappearing somebody was first used as a tool of political repression in Indonesia in 1965 during an extremely violent purge of communism from Indonesian society after a right-wing coup. That coup was led by military officers trained in America, and once they got power, they immediately massacred up to 1 million Indonesians, and the US was providing them with lists of names throughout the entire thing. After that, the same technique starts to pop up in pretty much every Latin American country throughout the 60s to 90s. Some of the earliest accounts of disappearances in South America happened in Brazil after their own military coups, also led by officers trained in the US. And then in 1974, Operation Condor was created as a collaboration between Paraguay, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and other dictatorships to crush leftist dissent across the region, all with the support and approval of the CIA. Tens of thousands of leftist organizers and political dissidents start to disappear into torture camps across South America, and all with very similar techniques. For example, during the Argentinian Dirty War, over 30,000 people were rounded up into a network of hundreds of torture camps. And similarly, in Chile in the 70s, Pinochet's military regime tortured and disappeared tens of thousands of people as well. And maybe the US didn't explicitly instruct them to build networks of torture camps or tell them the exact techniques to use, but the US never put a stop to any of it and often encouraged it. The point is though, seeing these scenes is rightfully shocking, but it's something that's all too familiar in the global South. When we see this happening in the US, it's the literal embodiment of the imperial boomerang coming back around. When we know our history, we know where this goes. It won't be long before any sort of political speech against Trump is grounds for disappearance, and this will escalate quickly. But when we study history, we also know the solution. We can't be afraid. We can't comply in advance. We have to band together and protect each other, because the state only gets away with these things when we aren't watching each other's backs. So the first step is to know our rights, regardless if you're a citizen or not. And after that, we need to be building robust response networks. And it could even be as simple as getting everyone on your street into a single group chat so you can all notify each other in case something happens. For more details on building community and resisting fascism, check out theconsciouscitizens.org, where we're sharing a ton of resources about that and a lot more. You can sign up for free to get access to it, and it's also a great way to support our work for as little as $2 a month.